right? So compiler will convert the source code. This is the source code into the machine code entirely. Then it allows to run. And when it comes to the interpreter, it converts the source code line by line. So it converts a line and then it asks to run. It converts the next line, then it asks to run. So due to that, interpreter will start execution quickly and compiler will do a delay start. But when it comes to the entire process, compiler finishes first and interpreter has a delay finish. Right? So in the question, what they are asking is they are asking you to explain the necessity of programming translators in computer programming. So you only need to talk about why we need a translator kind of thing, right? So when it comes to the marking scheme, it says like this: computer cannot understand the programs written in any language other than the machine code. Therefore, language translators are needed to translate such programs to machine code prior to their execution. So if you have that idea, if you have the idea of that the computer cannot understand what is written by a programming language and it needs to be converted into the machine code, and that is why translators are there, so then you can have these 2 marks, right? So always remember, you have to focus when you are writing the answer, right? All right, and the next question is about give 2 main features for each of the first generation and second generation programming languages. So first generation means the machine code, right? So as it says, first generation language is the machine code. It executes very fast compared to the other generational languages because machine language is the one that understand by the computer directly. So no need to translate, no time to waste on a translation. Once it is provided, it can be executed directly in the CPU, right? And since it is written in ones and zeros, it is always tied with the machine architecture or the CPU architecture, which means if you are going to execute the same program in another processor, you have to rewrite that program again to fix onto that particular processor, right? So we can simply say that this CPU dependent or the machine dependent code, right? And definitely no need of translations or like translators, right? And no any translators are needed because it is written in ones and zeros. When it comes to the second generation language, second generation means the assembly language. So it is the assembly language, and like one line of an assembly language is mapped into one line of a machine language. That means one-to-one translation is happen, right? Again, this is tied up with the machine architecture. That means it depends on the machine. And importantly, it needs a translator called assembler to translate the assembly language into ones and zeros, right? So the question is asking is give 2 main features for each of the first and the second generation. So first generation should be given with 2 features, as well as the second generation should be given with 2 features. So if it is happened as it is, so 2 marks can be taken. So like that means 1 mark for the 2 factors of the first generation and another mark for the 2 factors of the second generation. So 2 marks will be given. And the third part, it is asking about the components or the structures, right? It says, part C says, give 3 main flow control structures used in a structured programming language. Show how these flow control structures can be represented in a flow chart. So they are asking about three major components that we use in the flowchart, which is the sequence, iteration or the repetition or the selection. All right. So you have to illustrate it. All right. So sequence, the things which happens one after the other. They have used branch in kind of a word over here, but the best answer is the selection. All right. Selection. And when you are like representing a selection, much better way is this. Right now, this is kind of a partially drawn. All right. So you better show it is been taken into a decision box. Then it's better you indicate some steps over here. And importantly, you show it that it is being taken into a common place. Right. So this is kind of a selection. Right. For a repetition, what you can do is you can have the decision box, and for some reason in one part of the flow chart shows this iterative manner of the flow, like the iterative flow should be indicated. So that is iteration. Other part is going away from the iteration. So that should be shown properly. So for the name, they have given 0.5 as I remember. And for the illustration, they have given 0.5 again. Right, so yeah, 3 marks. So 0.5 for the name, 0.5 for the illustration. So 3 marks for that. Anyone who have tried this question? Yes, who have tried this question? If no one has tried, like there is no point of discussing it, but it's better you know what are the things that is there. No one has done it. Okay, never mind, but I'll show you what are the things. Okay, all right, okay, there is one. Right, so the fourth one, the part D, it explains, it has the code in a question. The following Python program is intended to convert user-given positive integers to their equivalent binary representation. So that is the thing that you must capture first. Thank you, Susu. Have you had one? Yeah. Okay. Right, so this is the point that you need to understand, that this is convert user given values, convert user given positive integer into their equivalent binary. So that is the aspect, that is the purpose of the language. So like when the program has start executing, it may ask for a number. So let's assume we have provided 11. So it should show us 1011 as the answer. Right? So that is the thing that you should understand first. Because without understanding what's the purpose of this program, you won't be able to understand this question fully. right? And there's a condition that they are saying the program should hold, that means should end, when the user input the value 0. That means the program is going to end when the user inputs 0, right? And they say the program has both syntactic and logical errors. It has clearly mentioned in the question. The line numbers are not a part of the program, but they used to reference the line, refer the lines, right? So now here we have the program, right? So the first thing that you have to understand is what's really going on here. So now we know this is to give a particular number, and once it is given, the equivalent binary number will be provided. So once we enter the 0, program is going to end, right? Now you can argue. So the first question that they're asking is state the lines with syntactic errors and state the error. Right now, if you think about this, if you look into this closely, there are several syntax errors that you can find, right? So the first syntax error is this. Here they have opened 2 brackets over here. So, but there is only one closure. There should be an extra bracket, right? So one mistake is that there will be a syntax error since you are missing this. And again, after this arrow, there should be 2 curly braces, right? Because it is starting over here. So you should have the end as well. It is not been indicated. So it should be before the bracket, but after the arrow. All right. So there are 2 errors. This is the first error, and this is the second. And while condition is okay, there is a colon as well, which is correct. They have taken bn and they were introducing an empty string, which is correct again. And this while and this particular part should be indented, right? It should be in this alignment. So the third syntax error, right? And this while is okay, while x larger than 1, the colon is there and indentation has happened correctly. This is another place that you can find a problem. This double equal sign, it is for comparison, not for assignment. So the 4th error. And this semicolon in the 7th line is not needed because there is no line termination kind of a rule in Python, right? And this is unwantedly extended or like indented, right? So it should be back intended, right? So it's the 6th syntax error that we can find. And the 9th one is okay. 10th, the print binary number comma bn, that is also okay. And the 11th, you got to see a mistake again. You need an extra bracket and you need double quotes over here. So this is going to be 8. This is going to be 9. Yeah, it seems to be like that. We'll check whether there's any more errors in here once we move to the marking scheme. So as a number, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We had 9 neither. So sorry, my numbering problems. It is 7 and 8. Not 8 and 9. Yeah, so we captured all the errors. So that means it's going to give you the marks on this particular manner. So there are 8 errors. So all 8 correct with reason, 4 marks. Right? See how they have mentioned the reasons. String is not closed properly. Need one more close bracket. And in line number 3, bn variable should be right indented. Line number 6, assignment operator should be equal, not double equals. Line number 7, no line terminators are used. Line number 8, line should be indented with the previous line. Line number 11, the same mistakes that you have done in the first. Right, so 4 marks. And they have given 0.25 for the identification of the correct line, and another 0.25 to saying what the error is. Right? So that's how the 8 marks are being given. Lamai, is that clear? Okay. If you got any doubts, then you can ask, right? So the next one, what they're saying is, which line of the program should be changed and state how they should be changed to obtain desired results, right? So in the question, they have mentioned there are both syntax and logical errors in the question. So if there is a logical error, that means you are not going to get the correct answer. So first of all, you have to figure out in which part that this logical error is going to be, right? So to do that, you have to go with the hand tracing part. And when you are hand tracing, remember, since this is converting a logical value, a decimal value into a binary value, be careful to take some particular value which is not a symmetric one. symmetric කියලා කියන්නේ. Now if you think about the binary values, if you take 1 0 0 1, this is kind of a symmetric value. If you take 1 1 1 1, symmetrics, right? Or 1 0 1 0, no, that's not going to be a symmetric one, right? The කලින් පෙන්නපු දේවල් වගේ like symmetric values ගන්න යන්න එපා. මොකද එතකොට මේ කියන්නේ ඔයගලන්ට මේක මම කියන්නේ ඇයි කියන එක තේරෙයි hand press කරන් යනකොට මෙයාගේ දෙපැත්ත මාරු වීමක් වෙන්නේ. එතකොට මේ විශේෂයෙන් මේ වගේ value එකක් වුණොත් පැත්ත මාරු වෙනවා කියන එක තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. මොකද මේක 1 0 0 1 කියලා ලියුණත් එකයි කියන්නේ මේ පැත්තට ලියුණත් එකම උත්තරේ එන්නේ මේ පැත්තට ලියුණත් එකම උත්තරේ එන්නේ. දැන් 1 1 0 1 කියන කෙනෙක් මේ පැත්තට ලියුණාම එන්නේ ඕක. එයා වැරදි විදිහට ලියුණොත් ඒ වෙන්නේ 1 0 1 1 කියලානේ. එතකොට අපිට තේරෙනවා මේ වැඩේ වැරදි කියලා. මේ වගේ එකක you won't be able to figure that out. Right? So if it is going to be something like this, it's better you thinking about something asymmetric. සමමිතික නැති value එකක් ගැන හිතන්න. Okay. So let's think about that we are going to enter 11, right? So which is going to be the answer 1 0 1 1, right? So this is the thing that we are going to check whether it is giving us an error or not. So we are checking when the 11 is given, is this the output that we are going to receive? Right? So now we are going to do this with all the syntax corrections. දැන් මෙතන syntax errors ටික හැදිලායි තියෙන්නේ කියලායි අපි අරගන්න. එතකොට මේ bn එක හරියට indent වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඊළඟට මේ quotient එක මෙහෙට indent වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. bn එක ඉස්සරහට indent වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. මේ double equals තියෙන එකෙන් එක equal එකයි තියෙන්නේ. right? ඔයගේ syntax errors නැහැ කියන තැනට අපි එනවා. Right? So first of all, they are asking for the values. Hold on a minute, Ramai. Right, so we are going to do it like this. Manika, it is over. I ate it all. Shall I bring you one? I'll bring you one. Mali, I have chocolate biscuit again. Oh, Kade. Bapi will bring you one. Don't worry.
Why did you eat it all?
Because I thought you gave it to me. Bapi is going to give you one, a new one.
It was for me.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it was my mistake. Bapi will bring you one. Right, so let's check this. So you are going to give 11, which is over here. Then they check whether x is not equal to 0, so which is not equals to 0. So x is 11, and they are going to take bn, right? Bn here, what they are saying is this is an empty slot. That means I will indicate the empty as an underscore, right? Underscore එකක් print වෙන්නේ නැහැ ළමයි. ඒක empty කියන එක indicate කරගන්නයි මම underscore එක පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. එතන මුකුත් නැහැ කියන එක, right? So then they are check while x is larger than 1. So yes, x is larger than 1. It says quotient. They are asking to take quotient, saying x divided by 2 and converting it to int. Right? That means x divided by 2 will give you 5.5 because it is a division operator. Once it is converted into int, it will give you 5. So the quotient is give you as 5. Right? Then it is calculating the remainder. That means R. It says x remainder 2. That means 11 remainder 2. That means divide 11 by 2 and think about the remainder. So once 11 is divided by 2, remainder is 1. So R is 1. Right? Then it says Bn equals Bn plus str remainder. That means for the Bn, they are asking to concatenate with the remainder by converting it into a string. A string here convert karane because Bn is a string. So with a string, there is only string can be concatenated. So what will happen? Bn is an empty place. So for that empty place, 1 will be concatenated. Right? Then the quotient is given to the x, assigned to the x. So quotient means 5. So instead of 11, now 5 is given for the x. And then it says, make the x as a string and concatenate it with the Bn and assign it to the Bn. Right? Then මෙතන තමයි වරද ඉන්නේ. මම ඒක මෙහෙම එලියෙන් කරලා පෙන්නන්නම්. So x string එකක් කරනවා කියලා කියන්නේ 5 කියන එකේන string එකක් වෙනවා. So they are going to concatenate, they are going to convert this 5 into a string and they are going to concatenate it with Bn. Bn කියන්නේ මේ වෙලාවේ space 1. Right? So the space එක වෙනුවට තමයි මේ underscore එකක් මම indicate කරන්නේ 1. Right? The මේක තමයි logical error එක කියලා අඳුනගන්නේ කොහොමද? ඔයගලන්ට print කරන්න කියලා තියෙන්නේ bn. Right? එතකොට bn print කරනකොට මෙහෙම දෙයක් print වෙනවා කියලා කියන්නේම වැඩේ වර්ධි කියන එක. මොකද අපිට එන්න ඕනේ binary value එක ඇතුලේ ones and zeros විතරයි. So 5 තියනවා කියන්නේම අන්න එතන වැරද්දක් වෙලා තියෙනවා. Right? ඒක නිසා we can decide that this particular line should not be stay inside this particular while condition. Right? ඒ කියන්නේ මේ bn මෙන්න මෙයාව back indent වෙන්න ඕනේ. right? එතකොට දැන් අපි එතන ඉඳලා ගිහින් බලමු වැඩේ හරියට වෙනවාද කියන එක. හරි. right. එතකොට මෙයාව back indent වෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒක තමයි දැනට අපි හොයාගත්ත දේ. This should be back indented. Right? That means now this is not inside this while loop. This while loop contains only these things. These are the belongings to this while loop. Right? So that means we are in here, this particular place where it says quotient to be assigned to the x. The quotient එක assigned to x, extra assign karama. The 5 is the one which is held by the x now. Since it is the last line, it goes up and check the condition again. So x is larger than 1, yes, still x is larger than 1, x is 5. So again, quotient need to be assigned with x divided by 2 and converting it into int. That means 5 divided by 2, which means 2.5. Once it is converted into int, it means 2. So for 5, now it is 2 in the quotient. They are assigning the remainder by x mod 2. So x means 5. 5 remainder 2 or 5 mod 2 means again 1 is remaining. 5 divided by 2 and the remainder will be considered. And then it says concatenate the remainder, converting it to a string to the bn. The bn ගේ දකුණු අත පැත්තට තමයි remainder එක අලවන්න කියලා කියන්නේ. එතකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ දැන් කලින් දැනට තියෙන bn මේ විදිහයි. So now what will happen? This space 1 will be getting another 1 onto its right once this is being executed. Right? And the quotient is given to the x. Quotient means 2. So x will be assigned by 2. Right? Again goes and checks the condition over here. X is larger than 1. So yes, 2 is larger than 1 still. So again, divide by 2 and convert into the int and assign to the quotient. So 2 divided by 2 means 1. So 1 will be assigned to the quotient. So this is done. Then remainder, x remainder 2 equals to the remainder. So that means x means 2. 2 remainder 2 means there is 0 remainders. So it will be assigned to the r, the remainder. Then it is done. Then here, remainder will be converted into a string and concatenate with the bn. That means it is going to create space 1, 1 and a 0. Right? So then goes up and checks again. Right? So the condition, I'm sorry, I didn't assign the මම අන්තිමේ කරේ නෑ quotient එක extra assign කරන එක. يعني මේ තිබ්බ දෙක වෙනුවට එක assign වෙනවා. මොකද quotient එක එක තිබුණා. Then it checks x is larger than 1. X කියන්නේ දැන් 1 which is not larger than 1. ඒත් එතනින් ඉවරයි ඒක. ඊළඟට එනවා මෙතනට. Right? දැන් ඔන්න එනවා මේ අපි අර එළියට දාන්න ඕන කියපු කෙනා තමයි දැන් ඊළඟට අපිට හම්බ වෙන්නේ. දැන් ඔයගලන්ට මෙතනට එනකොටම මේ bn ගේ අවුලක් තියෙනවා කියන එක පේනවා. පේනවනේ මෙතන ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ දැන් 1.1 බිඳුව. අපිට උත්තරේ එන්න ඕනේ 1.1 නේ. මෙතන මේගොල්ලෝ කියලා තියෙනවා take the x as a string and concatenate bn to the right side of it. x කියන්නේ දැන් මෙයා එයාගේ දකුණු පැත්තට ඉතිරලා තියෙන කෙනා දාන්න. එතකොට මේක හැදෙන්නේ it's going to be something like this. 1, that is the x. Then bn so far is this. So space 1, 1, 0. නේද? අන්න එතරම් logical error එකක් තියෙනවා. right? ඒතර logical errors දෙකයි. එකක් තමයි මේ bn කියන මේ කොළ පාටෙන් මම ඉන්ඩිකේට් කරලා ඉන්න කෙනා දෙවෙනි while එක ඇතුලේ නෙවෙයි ඉන්න ඕනේ. දෙවෙනි while එකෙන් එළියේ ඉන්න ඕනේ. ඒ කියන්නේ එයා back indent වෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒක තමයි පළවෙනි logical error එක. ඊළඟට මේ මෙච්චර වෙලා අපි මෙතන මේ concatenate කර කර ආපු විදිහ අවුල්. ඕක ළමයි concatenate වුණා නම් හරිනේ මේ විදිහට. මුලින් හිස්තැනේ වම් මත පැත්තට තමයි මෙයා concatenate වෙන්න ඕනේ. ඊට පස්සේ එන කෙනා එයාගෙත් වම් මත පැත්තට. ඔන්න ඔහොම concatenate වෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ එන කෙනා එයාගෙත් වම් මත පැත්තට. ඔන්න ඔහොම concatenate වෙනවා. මෙයා ඇතුළේ බිඳුව concatenate වෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ මේ මෙතන කියලා තියෙන දේ හරි. x ව ඒ කියන්නේ මෙයාව bn ගේ වම් මත පැත්තට concatenate කරන්න. එතකොට තමයි හැදෙන්නේ 1 මේ 1 කියන්නේ x ගෙන් හම්බෙච්ච 1. The 0, 1, 1 are the things which is there as the bn. එහෙම වුණා නම් තමයි වැඩේ හරියන්නේ. right? ඒක නිසා second logical error එක විදිහට අපිට මෙන්න මෙයාව indicate කරන්න වෙනවා. මෙන්න මෙයා තමයි second logical error එක. මේ equation එක ලියවෙන්න ඕනේ. It's going to be like bn equals str remainder plus bn. ඔන්න ඔය විදිහට ලියවෙන්න ඕනේ. තේරුණාද ළමයි? ළමයි clear ද වැඩේ? Right. So therefore, you have to indicate these two logical errors. Right? So this is going to be the first one. This is the second one. Right, so that is what they have told in the marking scheme as well. See, line 7 should be bn equal str remainder plus bn. And the second one, line 9 should be aligned with the four to capture the last bit. That means back indent. Right. So to find it out the two logical errors, the marks that they have given is, yeah, they have given 4 marks. Each correction 2 marks. Because in the question they have said which line of the program should be changed and state how they should be changed to obtain the desired result. And that doesn't mean you need to rewrite the entire program, right? Writing just the factors will enough. Can මේ ටික ලියුණා නම් ඇති. Right, okay. So if you have done, see how much you got out of 15 for this. It is quite challenging, people. Python question එක සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ඒ කියන්නේ නිකන් ගොඩ දාන්න පුළුවන් කියන තැනකට එන්නේ ඇත්තටම 2017 18 වගේ papers වලට ආවම තමයි අනිත් questions ඇත්තටම challenging, right? So some of you may have figured it out, but some may find it hard, but still it is කියන්නේ ගොඩාක් අමාරු නැහැ කිය නැහැ. නමුත් අර exam situation එකත් එක්ක challenging ඒ question එක. But when it comes to the 2018 19 20 papers, they are very much gettable, right? Okay. So the 6th question. So it is regarding the e-commerce. So the A part, first it is asking, using an example for each category, explain 3 types of businesses: B2B, B2C, and C2C in e-commerce. Right? So you have to explain, you have to give the examples, right? So I'll go with the answers given in here. So they have mentioned something like business entities like manufacturers, wholesalers, retailers, service providers, like if it is if you are not mention the word business, then you can identify this particular term in your explanation. But remember, when you are giving the example, right? Not when you are like giving the explanation about what is B2B, right? If it is business to business, you have to say electronic commercial transaction between businesses. So like one business is providing a good or a service to another business using an electronical method, right? Always remember those 3 factors need to be satisfied, right? Who is the selling party? Who is the purchasing party? Then the transaction should happen electronically, right? So these 3 factors should be tell who is the seller, who is the purchasing party, or who is the buyer, and the transaction happens electronically, right? Even for a definition, those are the things that you need to talk about. A business doing a commercial transaction with another business in an electronical manner, right? So that will do the definition. If it is B2C, a business doing an electronic commercial transaction with a consumer. So business is there, one party, consumer is there, the second party. Electronic commercial transaction, so it indicates it happens electronically, right? So that means all 3 things are satisfied. That is for the definition, right? And when you are going to give the examples, it shouldn't be the real world entities, right? If you want to take real world entities, just take it, but you have to mention, or you have to indicate, if it is a business, you have to indicate that this is a business. The marker should have the idea, or he should get the idea, okay, this student is explaining about the business, right? So when it comes to the businesses, that is why they have given these kind of terms. Manufacturer, it's a business. Wholesaler is kind of a business. Retailer is kind of a business. Service provider is kind of a business, right? So in other words, you can take supermarket, manufacturing company, garment, kind of things, right? Again, it describes a business entity, right? So when you are explaining an example, give an example with real world entities, but you don't need to involve any brandings. Supermarket එකක් කියලා කොහොම ඇති? Keel supermarket එක, food city එක, Apico එක කියලා එහෙම කියන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. Right? කිව්වොත් farmer කෙනෙක් කියලා කිව්වොත්, yeah, he is a manufacturer. Right? Garment එකක්. A garment. That will be enough. You don't need to name any particular garment. You really don't know it. Right? But example should reflect there is a business, there is another business, and they are doing the transaction electronically. Right? So here in the examples that they have given, delivering motor vehicles by the manufacturer to the wholesale dealer through an online transaction. So like manufacturer is there, wholesale dealer is there, online transaction is there. Right? මේක මේ විදිහට ලිව්වොත් ඕගලන්ට ලකුණු කොහොමඩවත් නැති කරන්න බෑ. Right? ඒක එහෙම තමයි උත්තරේ දෙන විදිය. And sometimes they will give you this kind of a scenario, right? මෙහෙම scenario එකක් දීලා they are asking you to justify what kind of a business is this? What kind of a business transaction is this? එහෙම වුණාමත් ඔයා කියන්න ඕනේ, here they have the manufacturer, which is a business. There's the other party is the wholesaler dealer, another business, and they are doing the transaction online. So this particular example or this particular scenario explains a B2B transaction. Right? ඔය ප්‍රශ්නේ අහන්නේ ගොඩාක් වෙලාවට ඔය ක්‍රම දෙකට. එක්ක ඔයාට transaction mode එක කියලා, කියන්නේ type වෙනද transaction type එක කියලා කියනවා, example එකක් දෙන්න, describe කරන්න. නැත්තම් example එක දීලා කියනවා justify කරන්න කියලා මොන જાතියේ transaction එකක්ද මේක කියන්නේ. Right? So it's kind of a two-way process. Right? එකක් දුන්නොත් එකෙන් අනිත් එක divide කර ගන්නවා. අර ER diagram වල වගේ තමයි. relationship එක දීලා එක justify කරන්න කියන්න පුළුවන්, නැත්නම් scenario එක දීලා relationship එක අඳින්න කියන්න පුළුවන්. Same way. Right? And yeah, so those are the things that you need to capture in this question, right? So see what they have done. Business to consumer, describe electronic commercial transaction between business to consumer. So it's 0.5 marks for that. An example, processing an online order to purchase a mobile phone or computer or food, kind of things. The method of processing an online order to purchase mobile phone කියලා කිව්වම මට අනුව නම් ඒක complete මදි. right? එතකොට එතනදී කියන්න පුළුවන් business to consumer කිව්වම a person, මොකද party එකක් ඉන්න ඕනේ. A person is processing an online order to purchase a mobile phone from a mobile phone shop. The mobile phone shop කියලා කියන්නේ එක business entity එකක්. Person කිව්වම එයා consumer කෙනෙක්. So processing an online order කිව්වම business එක electronically සිද්ධ වෙනවා කියන එක indicate වෙනවා. Right? So likewise you should be given the particular example. Right? Consumer to consumer, describe electronic commercial transaction between consumers. Right? So like the examples that they are given is Here they have given a note. Transactions are generally performed through the facilitator. Example, Amazon.com, Cargills.com, there are many things, right? Processing an online transaction to purchase a textbook by one consumer from another consumer. The latter is also a member of the same community. Yeah. So like practically a consumer means the one who is consuming a good. So I'm consuming a mobile phone for my purposes. So I'm selling it in the eBay, and another person will purchase it to consume. So I can say I sell my mobile phone through the ebay.com to another person to consume. So I is one particular consumer, the other person is the other consumer. So I'm selling this through the eBay. That indicates the online transaction is happening. So the example is completed. Right? So likewise, how much they have given? They have given, 2 marks. Yeah, 1 mark for the definition and 1 mark for the example. Right? So likewise, 6 marks is given for the entire thing. Right? People, is that clear? Okay. Right. Then the second point asks, chairman of a company is considering fax, email, and web as communication tools for B2E application. Being an ICT student, recommend the most appropriate tool with reason. So they are talking about B2E. That means business to employee transaction, or this in this case, it's a business to employee application. That means an application which provides that service, right? So they are simply asking what kind of a communication is better. So definitely the email, because it is low cost, easy to set up, can do it within the given network, right? And can send to many different people with the attachments and all these things. So there are many reasons for choosing an email over the other things that they have said is fax and the web, right? So the most appropriate and the easiest way is the email. So justification are as follows. So any, so they are asked you to give 2 marks, 1 mark for each valid justification up to 2. So the only injustice that they have done is they haven't mentioned how many reasons or how many justification that you should be given. Generally, අපි justification එකට facts ලියනවා නම් at least facts 3ක් විතර අපි describe කරනවා. So it's better you go for 3 facts. Here they have considered only 2, but better you go for 3, so no harm will be done. Right? So simple and easy to use, easy to obtain, easy to access from low-end electronic devices. Each individual can have his or her own email addresses. Likewise, there are many in this list. So any 2 appropriate justifications, it will give you 2 marks, and saying that the email is the best choice will give you 1 mark again. So 3 marks for that part. Part B is about the agents. In the domain of agent technology, explain the term agent. So it's better you by heart this definition, people. A software agent is a computer program which works autonomously towards goals in a dynamic environment on behalf of another entity over extended period of time, right? You can give many more explanation, but it's better you go with this since this is given in the marking scheme, right? Okay, highlight kalla. ඔගොල්ලන්ගේ note එක දැන් නැහැ ළඟ නේද note එක print කරලා දෙන්න ඕන දැන් ඊළඟට දවසේ එතනට මේක note කරගත්තත් කමක් නැහැ, right? And in the next one they are asking about the characteristics. Give two main characteristics of an agent. Now when it comes to the characteristics, remember there is a trick that you can that you can use when you are dealing with this question. You think about an agent as a man, right? So look at the things. Autonomous, that means you can act without any influence of another people. Just intelligent, perform in dynamic environment, right? වෙනස් වෙන පරිසර තත්ත්වයන් යටතේ වැඩ කරන්න පුළුවන් කියන. Able to interact with massively increasing information, right? Self-governed, flexible, those kind of things are there, right? So any two particular characteristics will give you 2 marks, and the definition will give you 2 marks again, right? So the final question, it says briefly explain an example where agent technology could be used effectively. Yeah, this is kind of a question that you have to write by assuming about a place, right? So they have given you many different scenarios. Transportation, agent can be a part of user-friendly transportation system which performs intelligently by adjusting the dynamic environment. The defense, it can manage the things which happen inside the battlefield and take quick decisions and learn about the enemy and identifying his strategies and all these things. A web crawler, it's a new term. I think you may heard of web crawler. An agent can be a server-based program that continuously or periodically scan the web or selected portion of the web looking for information of interest, right? අපි හිතුවොත් දැන් cricket ගැන හොයලා දෙන්න කියලා. We can create a web crawler and ask the program the web crawler to manage the cricket events happening inside the world. So the information will be flowing to the internet. So web crawler is given the idea of your task is to search on the cricket events. Then it will search on these automatically and gather the information and will have some particular information regarding that, right? And we can put an agent to a web browser as well. An agent can provide the client-side user interface for a sophisticated network application, which may be an intelligent web browser, right? So like, which will help to deal with the sophisticated network. Then අපි මේ සාමාන්‍ය web browser එකකින් අපි web එකකට යනවා වගේ දෙයක් නෙවෙයි අතන කියන්නේ. When it comes to a network, we deal with the network using the web browser again. So if the network is sophisticated, so things that you are getting on the web browser will be a little bit complex. So in that case, web browser will be there for you to guide things through the network to perform the task that you want, right? And you can have robot as an agent, right? Some particular kind of agent which interacts with the environment. So like there is what this means is like the robot, the physical robot is there, the program inside the robot is an agent, right? So it's an agent program which is being included into the robot circuit. So it manages all its equipments according to the agent program, right? or else you can keep that agent to interact with the robot, right? So it's a different program which interacting with the robots. It's not inside the robot, but it interacts with the robots. As well as there can be user interfaces. So user interface experience, you may have experienced those things. Sometimes when a web is being updated, you are given a particular guidance, or this particular button is there, it can be done, that button can be done, these kind of things. This particular area is for comments, you can do it like this. This particular area is for this kind of services, you can contact all this person like this. So a particular guidance will be given, right? So it's kind of a user interface agent, right? So the user interface intelligently identify that this is a new customer or new person that is interacting with it, so it guides, right? It won't happen all the time when you are logging in, if it is an intelligent agent that they are using about, right? So it will understand whether it is the first time with the interface, whether this customer is or the user is interacting for the very first time with the interface. If so, the guidance should be given, right? On the other cases, if he is like struggling with something, some particular component on the interface, then there will be screen messages, okay, this particular thing is there to learn this thing. Right. People, is that clear? Lamai, is it clear? Right. So that sum up the paper. So see how much you got out of 60. And remember, you only need to consider 4 questions in the paper. වැඩිපුර කරලා නම් ඒව දාගන්න යන්න එපා ළමයි. right? ප්‍රශ්න 4ක් අරගෙන 60න් කීයද කියලා බලලා total mark එක කීයද කියලා බලන්න. right? So in that case, how we are going to do the calculation? So for MCQ, you need to see how much you got out of 50. For the second paper, structured, you have to see how much you got out of 40. For essay, you have to see how much you got out of 60. So add them together, you will be getting something from 100. Right? So this particular thing, so you get it and divide it by 2 and add up with the MCQ answers, which will give you the percentage out of 100. Right? So see how much you got and please inform me. I need to know how the things has went. And meanwhile, has everyone done with the 2012? අල්ලි උඩට ගිහිල්ලා මේ ළමයි hold on a minute. That's good දෙවුනි. Keep it up. දැන් 85 කියන තැනට යන්න බලන්න ඕන නිතරම. 85 නෙවෙයි කියන්නේ 100න් 100 හම්බුනේ නැත්තේ ඇයි කියන එක අනිවාර්යෙන් ස්ටඩි කරන්න. ඒක තමයි ඔයගලගේ winning point එක. Sasita, that's good. But see what it is not there for you. Right? දැන් නැති වෙලා තියෙන්නේ මොනවාද කියන එක. මිහින් keep it up. Sanadi, very good. Keep it up. තර මොනවාද අඩු වෙලා තියෙන්නේ කියන එක හොඳට ස්ටඩි කරන්න. Right? Minidi, that's good. Right? 85 පැත්තට යන්න. ළමයි මට විනාඩියක් දෙන්න. Right. Lalindi, that's good. Keep it up. දැන් 85 ආවේ නැත්තේ ඇයි කියලා බලන්න. හැමෝම දැන් හදා ගන්න හොඳයි. හැමෝම හොඳ මට්ටමක ඉන්නවා. දැන් ඕක සමහර වෙලාවට කතා කරලා හදන්න නැති යාළුවොත් එක්ක තනියෙන් කරන්න නැති ඒක ඕගොල්ලෝ දන්න. right ඒක නිසා මම නිතරම ඕගලන්ට කියන්නේ පේපර් එක තනියෙන් try කරන්න. කීයටවත් discuss කරන්න යන්න එපා. මොකද දැන් කරන්නේ papers නේ. දැන් තනියෙන් පොත බලන්නත් බෑ. කලින් පාඩම් කරලා පේපර් එකක් විදිහට අනිවාර්යෙන් try කරන්න. right එතකොට එහෙම කරලා ඕගලන්ට ඔය ලකුණු වෙනවා කියලා කියන්නේ ඕගොල්ලෝ බොහොම හොඳ මට්ටමක දැන් ඉන්නේ. right දැන් ඕක ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් තාම කවුරුත් 85 කියන තැනට ඇවිල්ලා තිබුණ නැහැ. 85 තැනට ඇවිල්ලා 85න් එහාට යන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ 100 කියන තැනම ටාගට් කරන්න 85 අප් වෙනවා කියලා කියන්නේ වා හොඳයි. right ඒකට වට confident වට ඒකකට යන එක. එතනට එන්න නම් ඔයා ඒක honestly ඒ කියන්නේ හරියට ටයිම් කරලා හරියට වෙලාව අරගෙන හරි විදිහට කරලා තියෙනවා. දැන් ඕක කොටස් වල නම් බලලා තියෙන්නේ තේරුමක් නැහැ. ඒ කියන්නේ MCQ එකේ 10ක් කරලා ඊට පස්සේ ඉඳලා තව ඊළඟ දවසක තවත් 10ක් කරලා එහෙමනම් MCQ පේපර් එක ඉවර කරගත්තේ තේරුමක් නැහැ. කරන අතරතුරේ මතක නැහැ පොඩ්ඩක් පොතෙන් බලලා කරනවා වගේ කරා නම් ඒත් තේරුමක් නැහැ. එතකොට රියල් මාක්ස් නෙවෙයි ඔයගලන්ට තියෙන්නේ. right ඒක නිසා දැන් 2012 එක කරනකොට 12 කරලා නැත්නම් මේ වෙනකොට ඒ කරන පේපර් එකේදී ඒක පේපර් එකක් විදිහට attempt කරන්න. ඒ කරලා පස්සේ ඔයාට බලලා කරන්න ඕන නම් ඒක පස්සේ බලලා කරන්න. ඒව වෙන පාටක පෑනකින් මාක් කරගෙන හරි එහෙම සෙටල් කරගන්න. يعني ඔයාලා ෆස්ට් attempt එක කොහොමද කියලා බලන්න. ඒක තමයි ඔයාගේ රියල් මාක්ස්. right? ඒක තමයි ඔයා වර්ක් කරලා ගන්න ඕන දේ. එතනින් තමයි හදා ගන්න ඕනේ. right? ඒක නිසා අනිවාර්යෙන් ඒක කරන්න. නැත්නම් අර බාගෙට කරලා කැඩි කැඩි කරලා ඒක කරන්න එපා. එහෙම කරලා එන මාක් එක ඔයාගේ රියල් මාක් එක නෙවෙයි. එතකොට ඔයා නිකන් බොරුවට හිත හදාගෙන තේරුමක් නැහැ. මං හොඳයි දැන් මට තියෙනවා මේ වගේ මාක් එකක් ඒක හොඳයි කියලා එහෙම හදාගන්න එපා. right? ඒක ඔයගොල්ලෝ honestly කරන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට තමයි honest result එක එන්නේ. ඔයා honestly කරලා ඔය ගාන එනවා කියලා කියන්නේ ඔයාට හොඳට improve කරගන්න පුළුවන් පැහැදිලිවම. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයාලට කිසිම ගැටලුවක් නැතුව ඒකට යන්න පුළුවන්. right? Okay. Now the next question is who has done the 2012 කවුද කරලා නැත්තේ 2012 දැන් MCQ එකේ වැරදිච්ච ටික කතා කරන්න පටන් ගන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි කරලා නැත්තම් මට කියන්නේ ඒක කරලා එන්න ඕනේ. නැත්තම් අපරාධේ. කර නැතුව කතා කරන එක. කවුද කරලා නැත්තේ? alright great. හැමෝම කරපු තත්ත්වයක් තියෙන කියන්නේ හොඳයි. හරි. එහෙනම් අපි oops sorry my mistake. right. හරි මම දැන් okay මම මාකින් ස්කීම් එක එහෙනම් දැන් ෂෙයා කරනවා. ටක් ගාලා මාක් කරගන්න. මාක් කරලා මට incorrect answers ටික ඕනේ. දැන් 2012 ඉවර නම් ළමයි 213 කරන්න right ඒ කරන හැම වෙලාවකම අර මම කියපු විදිහට right real paper එකක් කරනවා කියලා හිතාගෙන time කරලා නේද පොත් වලින් බලන්න නැතුව ඔයාට honest වෙලා කරන්න right හරි මේ තියෙන්නේ 2012 වල ස්කීම් එක අක්කල මාක් කරගන්නවා මාක් කරගෙන මට එවන්න incorrect answers ටික Right, Saset. This name. Right. Mihin දැන් ඔයගලන්ට හරි ගියත් කතා කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා හිතන ප්‍රශ්න අනිවාර්යෙන් කියන්න. 9 14 38 48 49, okay, and 37, right. Right. Others? Okay, Lanindi. Fourth one. 9, 16, 26, 28, 30, 32, 33, 34, 46, 48, okay. Sanadi 9, 22, 23, 24, 32, 33, okay. Right, Minuka 31, okay. Minidi 16, 28, 38, 39, 48, 49, 50, and 44, okay. Right. Okay. Is that all, everyone? Has everyone sent me the incorrect questions? Okay, Sanadi has sent me. Sanadi and Sunadi. There are two people here. Sunadi. කොහොමද දුවගේ තත්ත්වය මොනවාද තියෙන්නේ? Okay, Sunadi, you send me the incorrect questions. So I'm going to start with these things that I have received already. Right. So 2012. We'll discuss as much as we can. Right. So first, the fourth question. Consider the following statement: data and information. The symbols, this particular 1010110, numbers, characters. So the question is, which of the above statement best describe information? So the symbols, this particular one, this is a data. This is not an information. Numbers, characters, and images, clearly it is data. That means A and B should not be in the answers. So that means second one is gone, fourth one is gone, fifth one is gone, right? So C says facts derived from a study, definitely an information. If you are deriving something from the study, it's an info. Facts that have been processed in such a way as to be meaningful to the person who receives it. That means some facts have been processed in a way to be meaningful, no? So that means again, it is given as an information. So something are being processed to have a meaning. So definitely the answer is going to be C and D only. Third one. Is it the third one? For the fourth? Yeah, third one is the answer. Then number 9. Yes, number 9 is an out of syllabus, people. You can take marks for that. The command that can be used to check the network configuration, it's ipconfig. You can take marks for that. That is an out of syllabus one, no worries. Right? And 14th, the required minimum and maximum working hours per day for an employee is in a factory are 5 and 12 respectively. Which of the following is the most appropriate validation check to ensure that the integer value entered as the working hours through a web-based form is correct, right? So yeah, it says the required minimum and maximum working hours per day for an employee in a factory is of 5 and 12. So they are clearly talking about a range. The minimum value that you can enter is 5. The maximum value that you can enter is 12. Which of the following is the most appropriate validation check to ensure that the integer value entered? Now, integer value in the sense integer කියපු ගමන් type එක එතන okay වෙලා තියෙනවා. As and working hours through a web-based form is correct. So they have to check whether the range is correct. So it's going to be the first answer, the range check. 14th. It's going to be the first answer. Yes, it's the range check. And people, if you got any doubts regarding what I am talking about, like ඕගලන්ගේ පැත්තෙන් ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒතකොට ඒක මෙහෙම වෙන්න බැරිද කියන එක, it's better you ask, right? Right, so clear those things, right? Okay, so the 16th, which of the following statement is correct about IP addresses and subnet mask? 192.248.32.3 is a class B IP address. Now, for something to be figured out as a class full address, we need two factors. First one is you have to think about the range of the first octet. So 0 to 127 is A, 128 to 223 is B. I'm sorry, not 223, it's 191. 191 is B. C, it is 192 to 223. D, it's 224 for 239. E, it is 240 to 255. This is one particular fact. The other particular fact is the number of net ID. Net ID bits. So for class A, there should be 8 bits. For class B, there should be 16. For class C, there should be 24. For class D, there should be 32, and we are not talking about class E, not even class B. Right, so 192 will clearly says it is wrong because 192 is given the chance to become a class C IP address, not a B IP address. So definitely it is wrong. Right? So this is the second factor. Both the factors should be satisfied. Now this dissatisfies the very first factor, which is the first octet value. A network with subnet mask 255, 255, 255, 248 can accommodate 6 hosts. So 248 means the subnet mask is 248 means it is being filled with how much? 248, how many is there? 248 plus 7 is 255. Yeah. So 248, if you extract 248, it will extract like this. 5 ones and 3 zeros. Right? That means you are going to add 128, 64, 32, 16, and 8. Right? When those things are added up together, it will give you 248. So that means up to this point, you have the net ID. This is the last octet. This first octet belongs to the net ID, second octet belongs to the net ID, third octet belongs to the net ID. Why? 255 is consist of all ones. So එකේව දාලා තියෙන ටිකටනේ අපි net ID එක වෙන්නේ. ඒතර මේ 255 තුනම හැදෙන්න මේ හැම octet එකම එකේවයින් පිරලා තියෙනවා. So there are 24 bits plus there are 5 bits. It means 29 bits are there for the net ID. So for host ID, there are 3 bits. So if the host ID contains 3 bits, the number of hosts that can be connected is 2 to the power 3 minus 2. That means 6. That means second one is correct. A network with subnet mask of this can accommodate 6 hosts, which is correct. An IP address consists of 16 bits, not 16, 32 bits. So it is wrong. This is wrong. And third one is wrong. 1032.15 is a class C IP address, not again. 10 belongs to the 10 can be a one in the class A, so not a class C. So it is incorrect. 255, 255, 255 is 0. It's a class C IP address. No, it is not an IP address. It is a class C subnet mask, you can say. Right? So the second one is going to be the answer for the 16th. People, is that clear? Okay. Right. Moving to the 22nd. Consider the following statement about relational databases. Okay. Right. In 22nd, it is asking, consider the following statement about relational database. A table is considered as an object A table is considered as an object. The word object is belongs to the object relational model. A table is considered as a relation, generally a relational database, right? So it shouldn't be the A, right? A is out of context. B, it says column of data because object object relational model relational database table consider a relation, right? So that is why it is wrong. In B, a column of data in a table is called a field or an attribute of the table. Yeah, that is correct. That is correct. Columns from the schema, we know another entity. These attributes are going to be the columns of the table, right? So that is correct. So A should not be in your answer. That means 1 is cancelled, fourth one is cancelled, third one is also cancelled. B must be in your answer. And C, it says a row of data in a table is called a record. Yeah, that is correct as well. So the fifth one is going to be the answer, B and C. Let's check the answer, 20 seconds. Yeah, fifth one. Right, 23rd. Consider the following statement with respect to the ER diagrams. A relationship in ER diagram can be implemented as a table in a relational database. A relationship in an ER diagram can be implemented as a table in a relational database. Yeah, it is somewhat correct. Many to many relationship many to many relationship we are going for the third table. Third table actually depends on the relationship. Any descriptive attribute, මතකයිනේ මේ relationship එක උඩ තියෙන මේ descriptive attributes අපි දාන්නේ හදන third table එකට. Right, so this is somewhat okay. A relationship may have attributes attached to it. Yeah, descriptive attribute. Yeah, that is also correct. Only two entities can be attached to a relationship. No, that is wrong. You can attach three, like you can attach just one entity to a relationship, which we call the unary relationship. You can attach two, which we call a binary relationship. You can attach three entities as well, which is called a ternary relationship. Right, so you can't say only two entities can be attached to this. That is wrong. Right, hold on. Now there is nothing called, yeah, there is the third one. A and B only. Third one is the answer. Let's check the answer, 23rd. Yeah, 23rd, third one. Right, people, is that clear? Right, great. Then 24th, consider the following relation: student, STD number, name, address, NIC, date of birth, likewise. Which of the following SQL statement on the student relation is syntactically correct? Yeah, select asterisk dot asterisk. We can't use something like this. We are not using this kind of things like two asterisks, asterisk dot asterisk. We are not using something like that. Right? It should be one asterisk to indicate all word, right? So because of that, first one is wrong. We don't use the word all. To indicate the word all, we use an asterisk. Right, so due to that, this one is wrong as well. Third one should be the answer. Here it says select std number dot name. No, std number is a what? A column name. This should be a table name. Right, dot එකෙන් එනවනම් දැන් student ගේ name එක කියලා අපිට ගන්න ඕන නම් student කියන table එකේ table name එක dot name. So this indicates student tables name attribute or the name column. Now here it says student number dot name. Student number කියන්නේ attribute එකක් column එකක්, name කියන්නේ column එකක්. You don't apply it like that. Right, so it is wrong. This one is anyway wrong. Semicolon indicates the line terminator. So line terminator not being used at the middle of the statement. Right, so it is wrong again. So third one must be the answer. 24th, third one. Yeah, third one is the answer. Right, and okay, moving forward. 26th. Okay, what would be the result if the following Boolean expression is simplified? Okay, so how we are going to have it? X dot y bar, we can take it as x bar plus y bar dot x bar plus y plus y bar, and 1 plus y bar equals to 1. That means it gives you x bar plus y bar dot x bar plus y dot 1. Right, that means the same thing. Right, so it means once you multiply it with 1, it's going to be something like this. Now you can apply the redundancy law. X bar, not the redundancy law. You can straight away go for the distributive law. The reverse of distributive law. Here you got x bar plus. Here it is also having x bar plus. So I can have x bar plus y bar dot y. How I'm writing this? There is a rule, the second rule of the distributive law, x plus y dot z can be written as x plus y and x plus z. Right? So there you can see this x plus thing goes over here, x plus and x plus. Right, so same goes here, x bar plus is here, x bar plus is over here, and they have y bar and y. So I took x bar plus y bar dot y. Right, so this gives me x bar plus 0. Y bar dot y means 0. That means answer, final answer is x bar. So which is going to be the first answer. Right, so let's check the answer for the 26th. Yeah, it's the first one. People, is it clear, the simplification? Right. Okay. So if you want to write it down, I'll give you a minute. So write it down. break නැති වුණොත් right. So moving to the 28th one. Yeah, 28th one is asking the component that decodes the instruction fetched into the CPU is called control unit. Clear cut answer. Right? In the fetch, execute, decode cycle, the instruction will be fetched by the memory and the control unit is the one which is decoding it. Once the control unit decode it, then ALU can understand what the instruction is. So the ALU can execute it. That's what you call fetch, decode, execution. Memory has the instruction, so it will be fetched. Control unit will help to decode it. So then ALU can understand it. So then ALU executes it, right? So definitely the 28th, the component is control unit. The 30th, a person employed in overseas country places an online order to deliver a birthday present to his mother who is living in Sri Lanka, right? Using the web-based services of a company. This transaction of ordering a birthday present could be best classified as, right? Yeah, hold on. A person employed in overseas country places an online order to deliver a birthday present to his mother who is living in Sri Lanka. Using web-based services of company, these transactions, ordering the birthday present could be best classified as. Yeah, ordering means like web-based service company, you know. So it is a business. Business is the one which is providing the service or like providing the good, which is the birthday present. So employee, a person employed in an overseas means he's a person. This is nothing, even though this employee word is used, it is nothing about employee. Yeah, employee to business when employee වෙලා ඉන්න company එකෙන්ම service එකක් එයා ගන්නවා නම් එයා service එකක් දෙනවා නම් this is a service that he is received from a web-based service of a company, a different company. So that person, it is true that he is employed in overseas, but he is having it from another company. The service is getting by another company, so he is a consumer. So the transaction of ordering a birthday present, it is something that a person receives as a service from a company. So it is a business to consumer transaction. So should be the third one, business to consumer. Is it the answer? As I remember, there was a slight problem with this one. 30th. Yeah, 30th, they said it as second one, consumer to business. This transaction of ordering the birthday present, consumer to business. No, it cannot be consumer to business people. The services is given by the company. Service is given by the company and service is received by the person. Like ordering means like it's something like this. I am paying to a company to give me a service of delivering a present to my mother, right? So it is a service that they are providing me. So service is provided by the business and and I'm the one who's receiving it. So it should be business to consumer, not the consumer to business. 30th, it's the third one should be the answer, people, not the second one. Right, because I don't get any logic to take it as a consumer to business. Right. So we are done up to the 30th, people. Since it is the time is 7:13, I'm going to end the session from here. So by next week, we are going to start from the 31st question and we'll move to the 50th question until the MCQ is done. Then we are moving to the structure and the essay. So please complete the structure and the essay as well. And most probably we will be able to find it in physically, right? For problem එක ගොඩක් වෙලාට okay වෙයි. ඒක නිසා physically අපිට හම්බ වෙන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි කියලා හිතනවා. ඒකට ලෑස්ති පිට ඉන්න paper එක ඉවර කරගන්න, right? Okay, people. So thank you very much. I'm going to end the session from here, right? And good night, people. I'll see you on next week for the very same time. Right, okay. Okay, people. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good night. Good night.